If you lose a job, keep the faith. If you lose a spouse, keep the faith. If you bury your child, keep the faith. If you have to downsize, keep the faith. If you have to move in with your mama, keep the faith. If you're at your wit's end, keep the faith. If you have to catch the bus, keep the faith. If you have to thumb, keep the faith. If you get sick, keep the faith. If you lose your kidneys, keep the faith. If you got heart trouble, keep the faith. You might not get a new heart, but you got to keep your faith.
Now, a quick message from our sponsor. LMG, Lebusho Mwahludi Group, is a family office investment firm operating in real estate, acquisition and development, as well as financial markets trading, specializing in US indices. LMG offers access to their world-class virtual trading rooms for a monthly subscription starting from a low of $29 per month. To gain access to these trading rooms, find the Patreon page at www.patreon.com/Al Mwahludi MOAHLODI group, or find us on our Instagram page at Lebusho Mwahludi _group. That is LBUSHO MOAHLODI _group. Now, on to the message. Hey family, welcome back to the Explosive Christians podcast. Was that not an uplifting message by Bishop T.D. Jakes? A powerful excerpt from his message on defying the urge to quit. That's what I want us to talk about today, keeping the faith. Keeping the faith for our dreams, our New Year's resolutions, keeping the faith in the most turbulent environments. Midway through February now. What an amazing month January has been. If you're anything like me who sets their goals and plans out their objectives in the beginning of the year and just drives through them with passion, determination, and discipline, well, isn't that all of us when we set out to do something? The energy we have, the initial excitement when embarking on the journey of self-improvement. But it's actually around this time when the motivation slowly depletes. You miss a workout every now and again. It becomes once a week, then twice, then 3. You don't make as many calls as you do for your business. You start to watch a little bit more TV, reading a little less. Your self-improvement road, the journey is now taking an off-ramp, falling back into old patterns, a regress from the person you wish to become. It's always slow. The regression, it's never all of a sudden. Starts off small, tiny. But by the end of March, your gym membership is an expenditure you keep for your own pride. None of us want to admit it, but it happens. It has happened. It is happening as we speak. We have to recognize our old patterns and recognize how they are so counterintuitive to our new patterns. Disambiguation is what it's called, or simply the process of pattern recognition. Realizing what, when, who, or how is the bad habit infecting our new patterns before they're even established. And once recognized and acknowledged, the next step is to not beat yourself up. Don't even look down on yourself. Or even worse, don't comfort yourself justifying your actions through flimsy excuses like I deserve it, or it was a tough week, my cat died. I'm sorry your cat died, but that's not a good enough excuse. Our next step is to actually keep the faith by committing our actions, our ways to the Lord. It's not by our strength nor our power. We started. We took the first step. We believed. Now it's time to commit. Commit your actions to the Lord, and your plans will succeed, as Proverbs 16 verse 3 says. A few weeks ago, we talked about habits and practical ways to keep good habits. Now, all those are great, but have little efficiency if we believe that we're going to succeed all on our own. No. Success comes from relinquishing of power to a higher authority, the establishment of our plans, as the NIV version says. Keep the faith. Keeping the faith is simply learning how to not quit. One of the things I love is running. For those of you who don't know, I am a runner. I love running. I love what it does for me physically, but more importantly, I love what it does for me mentally. Will Smith said, the key to life is running and reading. Let's focus on running for now. And truly, if you're a runner, you'll understand. When you're running, there's that little voice in your head that says, I'm tired. My lungs are about to explode. My legs are shaking. I should probably just walk out the rest. Now I'll walk. Maybe I'll catch up just now. But if you're able to defeat and ignore that voice, you'll learn something. You'll learn how to not quit when life gives you its uninvited lessons, when the car gets repossessed, when your children's school fees are overdue, when the refrigerator's empty, when you got a dream but nobody else believes in you. You'll learn to keep the faith, even going through the toughest adversities. You'll learn to give everything you got when you got nothing left to give. You'll keep the faith. And faith, man, it is everything. Faith is everything to me. I want it to be everything to you. Faith in God can move mountains in your favor. Believe me, faith can save you in the most difficult of situations. So a few odd years ago, I was venturing into the commodities business, buying and selling natural resources like coal, diamonds, and gold. I was young, inexperienced, but filled with hope and faith. I got into contact with this gold wholesaler. I wanted to set up a deal with him, so we scheduled a meeting at the Da Vinci Hotel in Sandton. Such a prestige place, but also such a far place to get. I didn't have a car at the time, but I was determined to make this meeting. I decided that I would take a public transport, a minibus taxi. Now, I wasn't familiar with a minibus taxi at the time. I'm still not, to be honest. I had ridden in one maybe once or twice, but never alone. But I decided that I need to get to this meeting. So I asked a friend of mine to drop me off at the local taxi rank. And from there, I'll take 2 taxis, one to get to Randburg and one that'll take me to Sandton, right at the Da Vinci Hotel. So he drives away. He drops me off at the taxi rank. Now I start asking around, how do I get to where I need to go? And some good people kindly pointed me and directed me to where I need to be. Now as I'm walking to the taxi, I'm looking in my pockets. I'm about to reach in to grab my money to make sure that it's there. And to my surprise, poof, gone. I'm searching my bag, I'm searching all my pockets. It's not there. I'm in panic shock now. What do? I retrace my steps, I'm looking, I still don't find it. I pause for a moment. And now 2 options are going through my head. Do I call my friend? He's not far by now. He just left. Cancel the meeting and go back home in despair? Or do I pursue? Do I pursue the dream? With as little faith, as small as a mustard seed, I ventured on. I said, okay, I'm going to do this. I'm going to get into the taxi. I'm going to go to Sandton. No money. As I'm about to enter the taxi, naturally my inclination is to go to the back. Maybe I'll be unnoticed from there. But the Holy Spirit says, nope, sit right behind the driver's seat. So they close the door and the journey begins. Anxiousness sets in. I'm clinching to my seat. It's time for people to start paying. The money's being passed forward. Thankfully, and I say thankfully, the driver was so laissez-faire. He didn't even count nor notice there was a missing amount from his total. We get to my next stop and I exit the taxi. With the utmost relief, I say, thank you, Jesus. Whew! I got here. I didn't pay a single thing. He didn't even notice. Now, it's time to get to the Da Vinci Hotel. So I'm at this taxi rank. I look around. I ask around. I get directed to the right one again. So I'm walking towards there now. Okay, it worked the first time, right? Has to work again. I find the taxi. Now it's a bit more packed this time, so that's a little bit unnerving. I can't sit in the position that I sat the last time. So I head to the back. Anxious thoughts start creeping in again. Now this driver was not like the last one. He was abrasive, he was loud, he was aggressive Zulu man. And if you know, you know. Now before we are set to leave, this woman had closed the door before all the seats had reached full capacity. Did this guy not throw the biggest grown man tantrum I had ever seen? In his native language, he starts shouting, "So who's gonna pay for the extra seat?" he said to this poor woman. I swallow my spit. My heart drops. I'm scared now. This guy knows his story. He knows exactly how much he needs to obtain from this trip. It was probably at this moment where it could have been the best time to cut my losses and exit the taxi and find another alternative. But I was crazy, man. I had a little bit of crazy faith in me. I remained seated and praying. Seated and praying that he doesn't notice. And off we go. The final seat has been filled. The money exchange has begun. There was a count and a recount. Conclusion, 2 passengers haven't paid. I think to myself, okay, that's weird too. Alright, so it's not just me. They count again. And again. Conclusion, 1 passenger has not paid. Now the conversation is getting tense. It's getting a whole lot more tenser. Animosity is being thrown around. Now there's an interrogation of each and every passenger, starting from the bottom. Did you pay? Did you pay? What's your proof? Did you pay? It gets to my turn. Now in this moment, I could have lied, guys. I really could have lied and nobody would have known. But with conviction, I admitted. I confessed. All the ruse, all the animosity was all my doing. This rude, abrasive Zulu man rightfully stops the vehicle en route and says, "Get out." And he said it in Zulu. I didn't even understand at the time. Could know exactly what he meant. Get out. Not even a little bit of sympathy. It's raining cats and dogs outside now. With a little cry of despair on the inside, I'm about to open the door to get out and continue the journey in the rain. And out of nowhere, this guardian angel, I don't know where she came from. I don't even know her name till this day, offers to pay for my taxi fare. I thanked her. I thanked her all the way to my stop. I thanked God all the way from my stop to the hotel lobby. I made it. I made it with relief and gratitude. I made it to my meeting, not by my strength nor my might, but sheer faith that God will take care of me on this journey. I had the meeting. It was a good meeting. It didn't produce what I thought it would, but this whole excursion produced something else. It was an illustration that I would carry on for the rest of my life. That if you believe, if you trust the God of the heaven of the earth, even when it seems impossible, even when the odds are against you, keep the faith. Hold your head and keep the faith. And that's what I did. And that's what I've been doing. Just keeping the faith. Oh, and how did I get back home? Another one of God's divine grace. I bumped into my faith leader at the time, and she was so gracious enough to get me back home. So family, I do not share this story because I want to make myself bigger than I am. I do not share it because it is my faith that got me there. And it is, what I can say what I want to share with you, and the reason why I shared this story is, when you believe in God, when you believe in a God that created the heavens and the earth, when you believe in this all-knowing, omnipresent being, when you understand how magnificent He is, that is when we will understand how important it is to have faith in Him. Because faith is the language, it is the currency of heaven. So what I call on for you to do in this coming week, I want you to look at every situation, every moment, every pivotal moment. Look at it and say, I'm going to keep the faith. I'm going to keep the faith in my week. I'm going to keep the faith when things don't look like they're going in my way. I'm going to keep the faith even when it seems that the journey is about to end in utter despair. I'm going to keep the faith. Lord, thank you for your love. Thank you for your undeserving grace. Father, as we go out into the world, teach us to have faith in you. As we build businesses, as we go to school, as we raise our children, as we serve in our churches, as we find footing in this year, may we have faith in you. Even in the most turbulent, atrocious, faith-stricken environments, may we remain faithful as you have remained faithful to us. Teach us to commit our ways to you, Lord. Now, family, I want to reaffirm that you are God's special weapon, formed from His love for His kingdom work. You are an explosive Christian. Thank you for listening. If you've enjoyed this podcast, please rate, review, follow us, subscribe, wherever you're listening to this from. Follow us on our socials. The links are in the description. Have a great one, guys.